Love can mess with your brain. You know that feeling, right? It's like a roller coaster of emotions, a symphony of sensations, a whole bunch of fireworks going off in your head. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on up there? Stay tuned to discover how love affects your emotions, cognition, and even physical sensations. Let's talk about dopamine, folks. You know, that feel-good neurotransmitter that gives you a rush of pleasure? Well, guess what? Falling in love sends your dopamine levels through the roof. It's like your brain is on a natural high. And it's not just a little buzz, no sir. We're talking about a surge of dopamine that rivals what you'd get from certain drugs. That's why love can be so addictive, so intoxicating. You're literally getting hooked on those feel-good chemicals. So the next time you feel that rush of euphoria when you're with your loved one, remember it's all thanks to dopamine. Ever feel like you can't stop thinking about your partner? Whether you're at work, hanging out with friends, or even trying to fall asleep, thoughts of them just keep popping up. This intense focus on your partner is a common experience when you're in love. It's almost as if your brain is wired to prioritize them above everything else. Falling in love can lead to some pretty obsessive thinking. You might find yourself constantly checking your phone for messages, replaying conversations in your head, or even planning your next date. And you can blame it on serotonin, another neurotransmitter that gets all out of whack when you're smitten. Serotonin is often called the feel-good chemical because it contributes to feelings of well-being and happiness. See, serotonin plays a role in mood regulation, but it's also linked to obsessive-compulsive disorder. When you're in love, your serotonin levels can drop, similar to what happens in people with OCD. This drop can make you fixate on your partner, thinking about them almost compulsively. This can make you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster with highs that are incredibly exhilarating and lows that can be quite challenging. Suddenly, you're replaying every moment you've spent together, analyzing every text message, and daydreaming about your future. You might find yourself lost in thought, imagining all the wonderful things you could do together, from traveling the world to simply enjoying a quiet evening at home and daydreaming about your future. It's like your brain is stuck in a loop, constantly replaying memories and fantasies. This loop can be both a source of joy and a source of frustration, as it can be hard to focus on anything else. The only way to break free is to get another fix of your beloved. Spending time with your partner, talking to them, or even just seeing their face can give you that rush of serotonin you crave, making you feel happy and content once again. So, if you find yourself stuck on your partner, just remember that it's all part of the beautiful, complicated experience of being in love. They say love conquers all. And you know what? They might be onto something. Because when you're in love, your brain's reward system is working overtime, pumping out those feel-good chemicals like there's no tomorrow. And one of the side effects of this love-induced high is a decreased perception of pain. That's right, folks, love can literally make your pain go away. Studies have shown that people in love are more likely to tolerate pain, both physical and emotional. So the next time you get a boo-boo, just think about your sweetheart and watch the pain melt away. Now, we all know love can make you do some pretty crazy things. It's that magical force that sweeps you off your feet. You throw caution to the wind, you take risks you never thought you would, all in the name of love. You find yourself doing things you never imagined. And there's a scientific reason for that. Love isn't just a feeling. It's a complex biochemical process that affects your brain in fascinating ways. When you're in love, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for judgment and decision-making, takes a bit of a back seat. This is the same part of the brain that helps you weigh the pros and cons of a situation. And when it's not fully engaged, you might find yourself making more spontaneous choices. It's like your brain is saying, hey, we're having too much fun here, let's not overthink things. This can lead to a sense of freedom and exhilaration, where every moment feels like an adventure. You might find yourself writing love letters, planning surprise dates, or even making grand gestures that you wouldn't normally consider. These actions, driven by the heart rather than the head, create memories that last a lifetime. So you end up making impulsive decisions, acting on your emotions rather than logic. It's these moments of spontaneity that often become the most cherished memories. Love encourages you to explore new places, try new things, and step out of your comfort zone. Whether it's traveling to a new city or trying a new hobby, love pushes you to grow and experience life in ways you never thought possible. Even the simplest activities, like cooking a meal together or taking a walk in the park, become special when shared with someone you love. These everyday moments are transformed into something extraordinary. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right? Have you ever noticed how you remember every little detail about your partner? Their favorite color, their birthday, that embarrassing story they told you that one time? Well, that's because falling in love enhances your memory. When you experience something emotionally charged, like falling in love, your brain releases hormones that strengthen the encoding of memories. So those special moments, those intimate conversations, they get seared into your brain like a hot iron. It's like your brain is creating a highlight reel of your love story, and every detail is important. Now let's talk about oxytocin and vasopressin, the so-called bonding hormones. These little guys play a big role in love and attachment. When you cuddle, kiss, or even just hold hands with your partner, your brain releases a surge of oxytocin and vasopressin. And these hormones, they're like the glue that holds your relationship together. They strengthen social bonding, increase feelings of trust and intimacy, and make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So if you want to keep that spark alive, make sure you're getting your daily dose of cuddles. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dr. Phil, you're telling me love is stressful, and you know what? In the beginning, it can be. Think about it. You're putting yourself out there, you're vulnerable. You don't know if the feeling is mutual. That's enough to make anyone sweat a little. And all that uncertainty and excitement triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, so you get those butterflies in your stomach, those sweaty palms, that racing heart. But here's the thing, a little bit of stress can actually be a good thing. It keeps you on your toes, it makes you more alert, it adds a little spice to life. When you first meet someone special, the stakes feel incredibly high. Every text, every call, every glance carries so much weight. You're constantly wondering, do they feel the same way? This uncertainty can be nerve-wracking, but it's also what makes the early stages of love so thrilling. The butterflies in your stomach are a sign that something important is happening. They remind you that you're alive, that you're taking a risk for something potentially wonderful. And as you get to know each other better, those initial nerves start to fade. The stress of the unknown is replaced by the comfort of familiarity. You start to build trust, to feel secure in the relationship. But that doesn't mean the excitement goes away. In a healthy relationship, there's always room for a little bit of stress. It keeps things interesting, keeps you invested. So the next time you feel those butterflies, don't be afraid. Embrace them. They're a sign that you're on an exciting journey. A journey that, with a little bit of courage and a lot of heart, can lead to something truly beautiful. So go ahead, take that leap of faith. The butterflies are just the beginning. And remember, every great love story starts with a little bit of nervous excitement. So cherish those moments, because they're the ones you'll look back on and smile. After all, it's the butterflies and stomach churns that make the journey of love so unforgettable. Let's face it, folks, when you're in love, you become emotionally dependent on your partner. It's like they become your everything, your confidant, your best friend, your biggest cheerleader. And there's a biological reason for that. Falling in love activates the same brain regions that are involved in addiction and attachment, so you crave your partner's presence, you seek their validation, you feel lost without them. But you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's human nature to want to feel connected, to feel loved, to feel like we belong. Empathy boost. Walking in your partner's shoes. Love has a way of opening your heart and making you more compassionate. When you're in love, you're more attuned to your partner's feelings, more understanding of their perspective, more willing to put their needs before your own. And that's because love can actually increase activity in brain areas related to empathy. So you find yourself feeling their pain, sharing their joy, and just generally being more in tune with their emotional world. It's like love gives you a superpower, the ability to truly understand and connect with another human being on a deeper level. So there you have it, folks. Just a few of the ways falling in love can mess with your brain. It's a wild ride, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. But it's also one of the most beautiful, most exhilarating experiences life has to offer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how love has affected your brain in the comments below. See you next time.